Welcome back. Welcome in to the Lion's Share podcast ahead of NFL Week 16. Merry Christmas to all you shareholders out there. We hope you all have been on the nice list, and we'll see what Danta Claus, Dan Campbell, gives us this week in the Lions versus 49ers. Lions revenge tour continues on once again. We've seen it all year long. This is the last stop on the train on the road here against the 49ers, who they did lose to in the NFC Championship last year. We forgot about that last season, I should say. Lost 34-31. The revenge tour continues on, and obviously the 49ers are eliminated from the playoffs, so it means a little bit less for them, but the Lions, it means everything. You know, the Lions will have the benefit of playing on Monday night and knowing the outcome of the Packers and the Vikings the day before, so they'll know what they're on to do, which is win the game regardless. But if they win after a Packers win over the Vikings, that sets them up to win and take that number one seed next week. So, or this week, I should say. So, Merry Christmas, boys and girls.
And happy holidays, like NSYNC said.
Yeah, and happy holidays. Here we are in Christmas week, and Lions playing on Monday night for the second time this year. On the road here. How do we feel about this revenge tour? It's been stop after stop, and now here the 49ers. Lions go on the road to the 49ers. I think all of us coming into this year had this one circled as possibly the toughest matchup of the year, and here it is, not feeling that way anymore, is it?
Yeah, and the worst part is all we're going to hear rolling into it is how depleted the 49ers are due to injuries. And to be honest with you, man, nobody's got room to talk right now. At this point, this is a mission for the playoffs, and line up all the records, line up all the opponents. The Lions are going to take them down. That's how it feels.
I love that. And Ben, correct me if I'm wrong, but can this get flexed? Could this get flexed into Sunday, or is this locked in?
We're locked in at this point because we're under 14 days or whatever it is. We're locked in.
I am shocked that they're not. Can they flex time at all, or just day? Can they do anything?
There's a whole thing. So if it's Thursday night, it has to be 28 days in advance.
Wow.
Monday night's got to be, I think, 14 or 3 weeks in advance, and it changes. It's on a tiered system. So as the weeks go on, later on, I think Sunday Night Football has the most flexibility. No pun intended, because that one is easier to flex into. But I think the flex on Sunday Night Football is 6 or 7 days. So Packers-Vikings.
It just feels like, it feels like Pack-Vikings in the 1 o'clock slot is
criminal.
Is a bit of a waste. But also, as I'm looking through the 1 o'clock slot, Jets-Bills doesn't matter, Raiders-Saints doesn't matter, Colts-Giants doesn't matter, Panthers-Bucks doesn't matter. I mean, you've got some teams trying to get into the playoffs, but that's far and away, that's a draw to the 1 o'clock slot for the NFL. But it's just it's odd to see a game that has so much meaning and against two really good teams stay in the 1 o'clock slot this late in the season.
I said Liners?
Yeah, you said Liners.
Oh, Niners. Liners.
Yeah.
That's tough. Or
It's
I was
okay.
trying to say the Lions, and
The
I
Lions.
combined Lions and the Niners. Liners.
It's all right.
It's just like Ray Straw and Robertson from the last episode. We're gonna have that. You know, we're on a grind right now. PTO starts soon. But you're right, Mitch. There's a tough schedule this week with the NFL just because of how spread out it is, with the 2 games on Wednesday, Christmas, the 1 game the day after Christmas, 3 on Saturday, a bunch on Sunday, and then 1 on Monday. So it is already so spread out and spread so thin.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like Christmas Day. If you're gonna put football in my face, I don't really care. I don't understand the 26th. I mean, that's Thursday Night Football. I don't. It's just weird. It starts to get a little too spread out. I think as we talk about this week, I think it's safe. You know, we talked about looking ahead, number 1 seed, and I threw this out to you guys. I think Week 18, if it means more than just nothing, like it potentially could mean nothing to the Lions. If it doesn't, that's going to be an incredible game and possibly a battle for Coach of the Year. I think Kevin O'Connell is the odds-on favorite right now, which I get, but I think something I feel like Dan just gets skipped out on every year for Coach of the Year, and to have the Lions in this spot with the most players on IR by a country mile is getting vastly overlooked right now.
I agree. I think, like you said, Week 18 is going to be that battle. If it does mean so much, and probably the winner of that can take the lead in the Coach of the Year honors. Andrew, any thoughts on the Coach of the Year?
You know, I got to give it to my man DC. That's how I feel about it every time. I see where they're coming from, but to be honest with you, I think they would have done worse with JJ at the helm.
Yeah, can I update
Agreed.
you guys? It's actually Dan Quinn, Kevin O'Connell, Andy Reid, which makes me want to vomit.
What?
Then Jim Harbaugh, then Dan Campbell. That's
So-
insane
that's
to
the
me.
shaft of the century.
So are you seeing this from VegasInsider.com?
Yes.
So I've seen that as well, but I'm also seeing on DraftKings they've got Kevin O'Connell minus 180, Dan Campbell plus 275.
Okay. So I guess it depends on where you're getting your odds from.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It almost feels like I get the O'Connell stuff, but it's not like Sam Darnold was a nobody before. You know, it's not like it's a. I don't know. It's just tough. If it may be a pick 'em, but you know, we're homers. We're biased. I just
course.
feel like Dan Campbell had got passed over last year, and I mean, even the year putting Jim Harbaugh in there is the same thing as Dan Campbell the year before almost. Chargers are probably gonna make playoffs, so I don't know. I just want to see our boy get it. He's earned it. I know I know the man himself would rather get the wins than the personal recognition, but we'd love to see some recognition for our guy.
Especially with all the injuries. I don't know how you don't throw your hat in for Dan Campbell. Kevin O'Connell's a really solid coach, but I think we all saw the stat when the Vikings beat the Seahawks, which was in Kevin O'Connell's tenure, he has had 31 one-score game victories. Not to take anything away, a win's a win. You got to do what you got to do to win. But to me, that says something about the team. And I'm not going to knock the Vikings. They're a really solid team. But nothing about the Vikings is super scary outside of Justin Jefferson. I think their defense is strong.
Yeah, I disagree with you here. I think Ben, you really tend to overlook the Vikings, and it scares me a little bit. You're putting bad juju out there, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
I think if you line the Vikings and Chiefs up, the Vikings win 9 times out of 10.
Ooh, wow, Andrew, what do you think about that?
No.
Oh.
5 times out of 10? I mean, what are you?
Honestly, I wasn't really paying attention to that stupid argument.
That tracks pretty well. There's at least one listener that's gonna love that from you right now.
Yeah, is your mama?
Dang.
Well, so I just like Ben just discounts the Vikings a lot, and it scares me. I feel like he's putting bad juju out in the air. I think the Vikings are a better team than the Chiefs, and if you line them up, like Vikings win that 9 times out of 10 right now. I think the Vikings are. I'd rather face the Chiefs than the Vikings right now.
I think I'd take the Vikings over the Chiefs just because it's a divisional reason. I think they play harder against the Vikings than they do the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs just get the benefit of the doubt 9 times out of 10. I think that's a pretty even matchup, though. Those two teams.
Okay.
Can't forget about
5, 6 times.
You know what, listeners, that added nothing. Andrew added nothing to the conversation just now.
I said 10, 15 minutes.
What's our value added right now? 0 from the guy on the left.
See, he's
This
on the right.
guy wanted the opinion. Now he's trying to backtrack.
He's over here.
He's over here.
Oh no!
You're sandwiched right now. You are our sandwich right now.
Right where I want to be. Right, the perfect spot in this throuple.
In the thruple, from the last episode. Chiefs got that voodoo magic too. You can't forget about that element of the Chiefs. So
they do have voodoo. They have the opposite of what the Lions have, for sure.
Oh no, without a doubt, that's the opposite side of that coin. As we said, Lions, 49ers out there in Santa Clara. Lions' last road game of the regular season out on the West Coast, the day before New Year's Eve, December 30th. Crazy that they didn't flex this one, like you said, Mitch, just with the other matchups. There's not a lot going on, but Vikings-Packers not going to be on the Sunday night with the Commanders and the Falcons getting flexed into there. That's crazy. I don't know how they flexed that one. But Lions 49ers, Monday Night Football, 8:15. That's when this one's taking place. Last matchup of Week 17. And Week 17 will not include or week 18. The following week does not include Thursday night football, by the way. Just a little nugget there. Let's talk about our picks. Let's go into picks. Lions, 49ers. Mitch, why don't you start us off on this Merry Christmas episode?
I'd love to. I've got Lions 31, 49ers 14. I think the Lions offense is going to keep humming. And there's going to be some outside chat. You heard a lot of that this week. I think that's why Lions offense came out so hungry. And even the defense, again, opportunistic last week. But I think there's going to be a lot of it was just the Bears talk for the Lions. And it's just going to keep the boys hungry. And 49ers are just in a weird spot. They're just in a weird spot as a franchise where you certainly don't want to tank, but you got to figure out Brock Purdy's contract coming up and lots of injuries. It feels weird. So Lions 31, 49ers 14.
Love it. Lions, for me, I've got the Lions in this one, 34-20. I think the 49ers will put up a few points here against the defense that is continuing to learn what their identity is without some of these key guys out there. I think they gave up a few touchdowns on plays. We saw Iffy last week against the Bears have some communication issues in that secondary, still getting his legs back under him after so much time off. I think they're still going to be working some stuff out. So I think the 49ers put up 20, but the Lions put up more. They've got 34 in this one, and I think this is another stop on their revenge tour. They check that box here with a 49ers win. And they especially if that one seed is available based on the Packers-Vikings outcome. I think this road warrior team finishes out the year perfect on the road one more time, and then you can spend a lot of weeks at home if you get a win here in Santa Clara versus the 49ers. Need this team to be hungry and get that dub for the one seed.
Yeah, agreed. I'm going to take a little bit different approach for you guys, though. I'm going to go Lions 28, 49ers 13. Lions coming in a little bit lower on the offensive scoring side of the ball than they have been as of late. Come in sub 30. The 49ers are just going to blame this all on injuries. They're not really playing for a lot, eliminated from the playoffs. And I think that one seed's going to be available. Dan Campbell's going to have them motivated to go out and control your own destiny. So I think that's not going to be an issue for them. Lions getting a few guys back on the defense, so this is time for them to acclimate, get their legs underneath them. And I think the Lions offense comes out hot and then just kind of starts to fade off, but Ben Johnson's going to be upset. Expect some trickery in this one.
All right, that's Lions 49ers picks from the experts here on the panel. Vote down below, shareholders, on Spotify and the socials to tell us if you think you can predict it better than us. Let's move quickly into Fact or Fictions and get you out of here. Week 17 picks for the NFL will be on Instagram and TikTok as usual on a short week here with the holidays. That's where you can find those picks as we have 2 weeks remaining in the NFL. Fact or Fiction time. Ben Johnson will have a non-quarterback throw a pass in this one here against the 49ers.
I think fiction. I think it's a little too tricky. We know the well is deep. We talked about it last week, but I don't think you have to. Hopefully, we're not in a position where they have to go that hard.
Do we have a weather report before I answer this?
Weather's gonna be. I feel like it's always the same. It's like we were talking about this on the last episode. It's be like right between 50 and 60 degrees. A little bit of smog going on.
Yeah, it's so consistent out there on the West Coast.
I'm going to say fiction. I would love to see it, but unfortunately, I'm going to say fiction on this one.
All right, I'm going to hit you with a fact. I came up with this one, so I'm going to say a fact. I think we're going to see a wrinkle here from Ben Johnson. He's going to throw I don't know who's going to throw the pass. I'm not going to give you that many points, but that's what it's going to be. Monday, the 30th, 60 degrees and sunny. That's your
kickoff.
Forecast.
We're right between 50 and 60, and yep, so that's pretty standard. That's crazy.
Pretty standard. All right, we didn't see Vildor against the Bears. Maybe he comes out here against the 49ers, and if this one doesn't come to fruition, that's on me. But Kendall Vildor had a bad game against the 49ers in the NFC Championship. Can he get a turnover in this one?
That's big fat fiction for me. I don't think he's doing that one. Sorry.
All right, fiction for me too.
Yeah, I think it's a fiction, and Vildor did do the coin toss today.
Ooh.
Yes, or I'm sorry, on Sunday.
There you go. Lions over 400 yards of offense. Fact or fiction?
Factamundo for me.
Double it up.
Triple it up. 3 scoops on that ice cream cone. 49ers under 250 yards of offense.
I'm gonna go fiction on that one. I think they go the length of the field but struggle to actually score.
Yeah, we saw it Sunday against the Bears. Opportunistic on the turnovers, but still got a lot of yards. 250 is low in the NFL. I'm with Andrew. I think it's a fiction.
Yeah, they had a couple stretches where they held teams around or about 250 when the defense was healthier. I think in this matchup against the 49ers, I think 49ers come in at about 289, 315 in that range, around 300. So I'll take a fiction on that one as well. Lions finished the year undefeated on the road. Fact or fiction?
Give us a soundtrack. Fact. Huge fact.
Fact.
And that's a fact for me as well. Triple scoop. 2 of them there.
Ding, 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 ding.
Anything else you guys are looking for in this 49ers-Lions matchup? It seems like we were just watching the NFC Championship, and now it's like completely different teams. And like you said, Andrew, a lot of injuries out there for the 49ers, and it will be curious to see who they send out there with all those injuries and their season officially eliminated after Week 16 here.
I think just organizationally, it's just this versus this. And I don't think, the 49ers, I don't mean that to be like the 49ers are a bad organization. I just think, like, roster-wise, the Lions still have, like, good time. They've locked down their key guys. I don't think they've overspent on anybody. And the 49ers are at a spot where they've got some older guys. They've got to make some big decisions on contracts. And, they might just have to shake some things up.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are the big things for me, right? Like, finally have another game like we had this past week. No injuries, no big injuries. And then actually get to listen to him whine about how many of the injuries the 49ers have.
Yeah, it's going to be disgusting, and it's going to be Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call in Santa Clara. That's me knocking on wood there about your comment there, Andrew. Last thing before we head out here and give you all a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all that good stuff. We don't have the picks on the show here today, but do you guys want to give a little insight? Packers-Vikings, what do we think about that matchup?
Yeah, trying to keep the bias out of it, I think the Packers win. I think Packers have a little bit more to prove and are kind of like probably have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder as the kind of forgotten about team in the NFC. And I think there's just something to, in the NFC North, I should say. I think there's something to be said about playing spoiler. And they can't do it against the Lions anymore, but they certainly can do it against the Vikings. I think the Packers get it done.
I think so too. This is a team that played the Vikings early on in the season. Vikings took that one. I just feel like this has got a split written all over it. These teams are solid, both of them. I think it's going to be a great game, a close game, but I think the Packers will get it done and split with the Vikings and go Pack this week. Oh, that hurts to say. I don't think I can. Tommy, cut that. Only thing I don't love about the Packers pick is that it is in Minnesota.
Yeah, that one's tough for me too. But like what you're saying, I won't go as far as you and say go Pack go. I can't do that.
I didn't say go Pack.
Okay, it was
no
pretty
Pack,
close.
no.
Regardless, what I would say is if Jordan Love can make plays throwing on the run, I think they've got a really good chance. That's always their biggest thing. Minnesota's got a really good front defensive 7 there. Got to get through them, and then it gets a little bit easier.
Yeah, Packers limit the penalties, limit the turnovers. If you can survive with only 1 turnover or less, and on defense against Justin Jefferson and those weapons, if you can play some good coverage but without committing penalties, I think the Packers take it. So we'll see what happens. We're hoping for that, and then that'll the nice thing, like we said, Lions will know their fate coming into Monday night. With that game on Sunday, they'll know. They'll be able to watch Packers-Vikings and figure out what they got to do on Monday night. So, shareholders, thanks for being with us all year long. We will catch you all in the new year. We'll be back following Lions 49ers. We'll see you all. Have a great Christmas. Happy holidays. Let's go Lions.
Meow.